and thinking what nobody has thought. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Umar Farooq, Joint Secretary of Invade 2020. It gives me immense pleasure to moderate this wonderful session, and I wholeheartedly welcome all the honorable judges and participants who have successfully passed round one. Medicine always needs innovation and ideas of translation.
Baba.
And it's a field which requires constant inputs of ideas and its fast application. COVID-19 has taught us the importance of innovation in the field of medicine, varying from data collection to public health and rapid detection to prompt management. We know the importance of single and small innovative ideas. Today, we at MedInvade 2020 brings to you one of a kind ideathon, which is an open platform for all the healthcare professionals across the globe to present their ideas and to translate medicine for all the mentors to shape their ideas to serve the mankind. Let us begin by welcoming our first judge. Dr. Sandip sir is an assistant professor of Department of Surgery at R.G. Kar Medical College, visiting professor in Lincoln University, Malaysia. He's an examiner and international tutor in Royal College of Surgeons, Edinburgh. And he's an ex-honorable associate lecturer in University of Queensland. Welcome you, sir. Our next judge is C. Krishna Chaitanya, sir. He is an experienced mentor with a specific experience of working in an education management industry, skilled in event management, people management, public speaking, and vegetarian cooking. And vegetarian cooking and seminar presentation. He's a strong professional. He's a strong professional with a Bachelor of Engineering focused in mechanical engineering and Singat Academy of Engineering. And from the very childhood, he has developed an interest in machines, their functioning, and work for making creative products. In the 9th standard, he developed a mini hydroelectricity plant, and he has won a prize for the innovative idea. And during the engineering, he was not into books, but was fascinated in practical, innovative technologies. He took active participation in Brew Club activities of his college and gave many talks to students and topics like stress management, discover yourself, science of self-realization, and many more. In the second year itself, he participated in the national level event known as Bajaj Student India and manufactured an all-terrain vehicle. In 4th year, he developed a team in designing and manufacturing of effective refrigeration system using a linear compressor. This doesn't end. He has also been awarded as one of the best employee award within a short period of time during the perseverance and interpersonal dealing. And he has been heading the MICE lab team since August 2018 in the Mumbai at JJ Hospital and have trained and guided more than 600 students in innovative projects and healthcare projects. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Our next judge is Abhishay Shetty, sir. He is a biomedical engineer by background and a passionate mentor with an aim to bring together tech and humans for our better future. Worked with school students and medical students since past 2 years and developing various head-on projects in ocean clearance board to non-contact thermometer, and has keen interest in talking things apart, understanding their workings. He has also interest in human machine interface, electronics and coding and reading. He has also developed eye control cursor for computer to help patients with ALSA and paralysis. And one of the most interesting things, he has also created lovable memes. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. But last but not the least, we have one more speaker and judge who is by Dr. Aayush Bhadani. He's a medic and Medha awardee and medical device innovative enthusiast. He has also helped a lot of us and a lot of our students and the participants during the preparation. We welcome you, sir. We heartily welcome you, sir. Like you are the main part of our event.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hello, Medha is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mithali, I take over the lead, and I hope let's start the event.
So now, hi guys, my name is Mithali, and I would be announcing the name of the participant who has to present. and the next person also who will be next in line. So first we have Innovative Creative Explorers. Presenter is Fatima. Can you please make Fatima the host so that she can share the screen?
They can share their screen, Mithali.
Alright. So Fatima, just let us know when you're ready so we can start the timer.
Hello, are we audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, just give me one moment. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. We are the ICE team, Innovative Creative Explorers. Today, we present to you our idea, Detect to Protect, D2P. The reason our idea is special is because it is simple, smart, and secure. The problem that we are looking to solve in this model is to prevent the rise in the cases of road traffic accidents due to drunken driving. The magnitude of the problem lies in the impact on human lives. In high-income countries, more than 20% of the road traffic accidents are due to alcohol consumption. In low and middle-income countries, this problem is at 69%. On the impact on human economy, the annual cost of alcohol-related deaths is more than $44 billion. Alcohol is dangerous. The negative effect of alcohol is because of its effect on some inhibitory neurotransmitters like GABA and excitatory neurotransmitters like glutamate, the combined effects of which lead to central nervous system depression, causing altered mental status and lack of alertness. So, for the problems that we have just discussed, the innovative solution we choose to present to you is D2P, or Detect to Protect. For this model, we have created a prototype, and we look forward to the large-scale implementation of this model in large companies and cars. The working of the model. So once the person who has consumed alcohol sits inside the car and tries to switch on the ignition, the alcohol is detected by the sensor. The sensor then sends the signal to the comparator IC, which then gives the output to the microcontroller, which is the heart of this project. The microcontroller then gives the high pulse to the buzzer circuit, and the buzzer turns on, and the relay gets turned off, and the car ignition will stop, and the car will not switch on. This is a short video demonstrating the working of our model. When we switch this on and bring alcohol, it begins to start beeping. And also the motor stops. The four main characteristics of our model is that the materials to make this are really easily available in most of the countries, and it's economically feasible. For us here, the average prices are as follows: microcontroller 25 dirhams, alcohol sensor 40 dirhams, buzzer 50 dirhams. The third characteristic feature of our model is its operational feasibility. Since the entire model is a simple circuit, it can be safely secured in a safety box and fitted comfortably in car and automobile features. In terms of technical feasibility of our product, it can be easily prepared for the hardware system setup as well as easily repaired in case of any difficulties. So the market value of our product is dirhams 100 to dirhams 150. Now, this price has been based on the prices of the individual parts, installation charges, and maintenance services. The competitive advantage that our model has over other similar models which are present in the market is the fact that our model not only involves a beeper, but also has a direct safety check, which will stop the ignition of the car. The second point is that the easy availability of all the materials make this idea a reality in different types of countries in the world. This model has a long life, which means it is working for a long time. It doesn't need much maintenance, and the production of this kind of a model is low cost. Also, it can be secured in a compact box, which can be placed appropriately in the features of the car or the vehicle, which means it does not need much space. And it has a really high and good sensitivity to alcohol gas, which makes the detection quicker and faster. The future scope that we are looking to improve this model with is by implementing it along with GSM technology. The idea behind this is to allow the vehicle to have sending text messages to inform the relatives or the owners that the person has consumed alcohol and was attempting to drive the car. We can also install the GPS technology and use it in the implementation so that once the alcohol is detected and the person can be found out on which location he is, and the family members or the relatives can reach the person to pick him back. So, in conclusion, we believe in what Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam says. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And one of the best ways is by using innovation. You have to believe it before you see it. This is why we seek for your support in propagating this idea into a reality in the world of tomorrow. Signing off, we are
The
Icebreakers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. This was an amazing presentation, but I'm so sorry one of the judges couldn't join because of the network issues. So we'll have to conduct yours once again in the end, if that's all right. I'm so sorry. But
It's okay with us. Totally all right. It's fine.
it was within time, so that's good. So
Okay,
I would like to give it to Aayush sir for the next speaker session so that he can introduce everyone else.
Hello and a warm good afternoon to all the participants of Invade and this ideathon. And I personally feel before we go on with the presentations, taking care of the viewers who are watching us live over YouTube, why not discuss a little bit more about medical device innovation, what it is all about, how a medical student can innovate. Is it something very challenging, or can we as medical students take up this career opportunity? We will be discussing all these points slowly. And for that, I'll first like to invite Mr. Krishna Chaitanya, sir. He's the mice lab he takes care of the mice labs at JJ Hospital, Mumbai. And he's extremely enthusiastic and has been in touch with medical students since last 2 years. So over to you, Chaitanya, sir. I am really hopeful that your presentation will be very insightful and it will motivate the medical students watching us to maybe take up medical innovations and be the next innovators.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aayush. Well, I can see a lot of energy on the screen today. A lot of people, a lot of participants have come here with so much of pumped up influence. The first team also presented very nicely, but sorry to bring stop to that energy, and we are also coming and sharing. But yes, anyways, whatever I learned and I have gained some experience, I'll be sharing something based upon that. I hope all of you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I have a general key rule when I'm giving sessions, or when I'm sharing something. I expect active participation from the audience as well, because that gives me energy to speak. Otherwise, then I feel that I'm speaking to screens or devices, but not to people. So unfortunately, this the technology is in such a way that I can't see your faces when I'm presenting. But somehow let me just take a good hope and let me go ahead with the presentation. So I just want to give you a brief insight about what exactly is medical innovations and what exactly do we need to do under this, and what is the principles that go behind any innovation which we do. So we are a group of enthusiastic engineers based at JJ Hospital, Mumbai, and we have our lab where we do a lot of experimentation and tinkering and a lot of breaking and a lot of fixing up things. In terms of medical innovations, we engage with a lot of doctors, medical students, paramedic staff, and even the nurses as well. And we understand a lot of problems and we deal with them there, and we're happy to have excited to be here today with all of you to share our experiences. Okay, what are your favorite street foods? Everybody is missing this particular phase of your life, or the evening snack which everybody goes through, the mouth watery dishes that we always have. So what is your favorite street food? Anybody would like to say anything? Come on. Quick, I don't have much time, so I just want to hear.
So, like
Anybody would like to?
Pani Puri and stuff? like pani
Okay,
puri and some of the chaats.
that's nice. That's nice. Okay, pani puri. Who else? Anybody?
Mysore bhaji, if
Mysore
you
bhaji.
know.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's nice. That's a famous South Indian meal, which people have on the streets. Everybody's missing that, and I agree with that. So street food is definitely a great revolution towards Indian and even continental markets, where everybody loves to have their evening snack or evening meals, even in the morning. There, every dish that comes there comes with a set of story, and today I'm going to talk about one set of a dish. There was a problem which was identified, during the 1850s, when the American Civil War was going on. So there was a huge loss, and huge demand for cotton was required in America. And so therefore the American cotton mill was not very much efficient enough to work. So that entire mill load came onto India, and especially Bombay. So when Mumbai was called Bombay, they had their huge workload on Bombay textile mill workers. They had less time for lunch. They had to work extra hours and late nights, because the load was so much that they had to put a lot of effort during that time. Now, when the mill workers were busy at the mill working, they couldn't spare much time for their lunch, and they couldn't spare much time, even when the night, when they had to go late nights. And as usual, if you go late night to your home, wives won't cook anything. It is not just the story of but right now, but even the stories of the later 1850s, and the wives wouldn't never cook. Now, where do these poor mill workers go, right? Where they have to have food in the dead of the night? Who would give you food? Therefore, they have to design some meal. They had to design some kind of a meal which will be quick to eat, which will be nutritious, and it would be a balanced diet. It would be healthy and tasty. It would be easily digestible, not very heavy, so that when they're working, for example, during the lunchtime also, when they're working. So if many of us experience this, we eat a lot heavy food, then probably you'll fall asleep during the work. But that's not possible because the workload is huge. And even during the night time, they needed something which is nutritious and sumptuous, and a complete balance of all the kinds of things which we have during our food, right? So they needed a blend of multiple vegetables and butter and different kinds of spices together. So this was their criteria. And now, to solve this problem, the street vendors, what did they do? They went and collected leftover bread from Jesuits, and even so they also took leftover vegetables from people, and boiled them, mashed them together, mixed it with some spices, and gave them bread and butter and these mashed vegetables. And you know what that mashed vegetables and bread butter is called today? It's called pav bhaji. This pav bhaji had taken birth in that fashion, right? This mouth-watering, lip-smacking, tasty dish, which was made during the American Civil War in 1850s, so many years ago, took birth then, when there was a need which had come into the market, especially for the cotton mill workers. And that is what every Indian house, everybody has this particular dish, and everybody believe it because it is very nutritious and tasty. So, there are a lot of problems available in the world, and every problem has a solution. So you just have to be creative enough to find it out, right? We can't just keep nudging about problems, saying that this is a problem, but you need to be creative enough. And if you stand out of the entire box, and you can find out what exactly is the solution. So welcome again onto the introduction towards medical innovations, how medical students can also be active participants in terms of medical technologies in solving problems associated with the healthcare industry. So I just try to understand that, medical innovations basically deals with the subject which a doctor and a patient faces, right? A doctor, there is something that is stopping the doctor to treat their patients much more better, right? But at the same time, we see that our previous doctors, or the senior doctors whom we have seen, they have been doing a lot of stuff, but the younger generation, the generation in which we all are together, we are more tech savvy, we are intelligent, we question things, and we want to do a lot of experimentation. And thanks to all those skills and all those eagerness and hunger which we have, which gives us this opportunity to come up together with innovative solutions for even of the slightest problem. Generally, hospitals are always in the same condition, frustrated relatives, frustrated patients, a lot of chaos situation. But we as doctors, medical students have that responsibility to fix that, right? So that we treat our patients better. And therefore, engineering and the technology connects with medicine to reinvent ourselves and reinventing doctors. Okay, fine. I know how to innovate. I know that I have to innovate. How can I do that? There should be a process, right? So, we have a lot of blessed universities and blessed agencies, blessed bodies which have the intellectual mindset to design something for medical innovations as well. And this is one of the lead topmost universities in the world, that is Stanford University, has launched this program that is known as Stanford Biodesign. They have come up with this 3I formula, in which identify, invent, and implement. You identify a problem, you invent there, you start building and developing something, and at the last you implement your idea through a business and entrepreneurship based ideas. Now, I'll just take you through a case study which Stanford University has done. They've developed this particular, they have identified that, children between the age of 3 to 5 years, when they sleep, they undergo some nightmares. And that too, the nightmares are not in the the REM stage of sleep. If you know what REM is, rapid eye movement, and they undergo these nightmares much more in the deep sleep, and it's very difficult for them to for the parents to get the child back to conscious and to relieve them from the nightmare fear, right? So this, I'll just show you a quick video of how the nightmares can be solved. How these people actually ideated on solving the nightmares of kids.
I'm Andy Rink. I'm a second-year Stanford Biodesign Fellow.
I'm Varun Baraya, and I'm a Biodesign Fellow.
The need area we're working in is to treat sleep tears in children.
The way we approach transitioning from concept to prototype was we cut a lot of concepts down based on technical viability and based on the needs criteria we had generated right at the start of the process.
We did start prototyping pretty early, and we had a vision of where we wanted to go with the solution.
Some of them were just sketches or mock-ups.
We also got some off-the-shelf components.
Our first work-like prototype was an alarm for deaf people, and it had the same mechanism of action we were looking at for our product. And so Andy and I used it on ourselves for a couple of weeks to see if it did what we expected it to do. And when we saw success with that, then we actually started putting together a prototype of our own that was more tailored to the need we were trying to solve.
And then we also built some looks-like prototypes that had the form factor of what we were thinking we were going to do. It's a sleep-based device. It's placed around the bed when during sleep at night. So we built some different looks-like models to have users try it out. We tried it out in our own beds. We had users try it out in their beds. We did a lot of that for feedback on usability, things like that.
I think once we had sort of a looks-like prototype, it was important that we just placed it in front of our users and let them figure out what to do with it, rather than leading them down our thought process of how the device would be used. And that sort of gave us a lot more input than actually telling them how to use it.
We wanted to get as many kids in our target age range to use our prototypes as possible. We were targeting, we didn't want 100, but if we could get 10 or 15, something like that, that could be great. So we just essentially targeted friends that we know in the area that have kids.
We were trying to make a small wearable band, and our initial thought was, this is easy. I mean, we're not going to learn anything out of this.
So we got some off-the-shelf, just black Velcro straps. See, will kids wear something? And we found, well, kids may, but they hate the color black. And then they all had suggestions of what color they actually wanted it to look like and what material they wanted it made of. And so there we thought, well, this is just going to be impossible. We're going to have 250 different combinations to satisfy all the kids. We saw that kids would take these things that they were wearing in the morning, if they're old enough where they kind of get dressed by themselves, they would lose the thing, they'd throw it, and we'd never find it ever again. So there were a lot of problems with that form factor. We found out a lot early on from that, which led us to the form factor we have now of something that's under the mattress instead of something that kids have to wear. We didn't even realize how different the mattress thicknesses can be, which can really have an effect for what we were trying to do. We saw difficulties when some of the users were trying to actually put our device into the bed. We saw how that could be challenging in ways that we could help change the form factor. Advice on prototyping is to do it early, and do it earlier than you think you need to do it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You'll really learn a lot from it. And I don't know if it really rings true until you actually do it and then see how much feedback you can get. And that certainly happened with us.
So when you start thinking about...
So, I can share the link with you. Probably you can see that because I'm just going ahead because of lack of time. But that entire thing, it always shows you there is a scope for doing something, experimenting and failing at the early stages, right? So, that is what exactly I was also trying to say, that, you need to develop something as a quick and easy solution. And if you see them saying, there are a lot of problems that have been associated along with that. So, it's an amazing website. I will share the link with you. Can go and have a look about so many kinds of case studies and so many kinds of stories that every innovation comes along with. And yes, not just bodies outside, even in India, this is a very famous one that's known as Betic Labs, which is based out of IIT Bombay. And they also have developed this entire innovation process. The principle between Stanford and Betic remains the same. The technical details or the detailing changes in terms of, so they use the III formula, they use a 4D formula, but the principle definitely remains the same. And Betic has also come up with different kinds of innovations, which they have encouraged students to do it. And so I think this is the most commonly used instrument by every doctor, and this has associated with a lot of problems in terms of unable to hear much clear and distinct heartbeat sounds. You can hear but you can't record them, and if you are hearing, you only can hear, people around you can't hear, your professor can't hear, and if your professor is hearing, you can't hear, right? So therefore there's a startup that's come up, and this is a market available device that's known as ayudevices.com. They have developed this smart stethoscope with an amplifier capacity to increase and crystallize the sound. You can crystal clearly hear those sounds, and then they have mapped that same sound on a mobile phone application. You can record their sounds, on the screen, mobile phone screenshots in different languages, subjective to Indian conditions. You can record those sounds. You can get a waveform reading, and you can share it with different people. So for example, a doctor sitting in a rural area can definitely share these things as the audio clip to a doctor who's sitting in the city and get advice on those sounds. You can hear them again and again, right? This is also another story from the same place, Betic. This is now many times people say, okay, I need to be probably this kind of a educated person. I need to have this kind of an education to do probably innovation. I would say you're wrong. Why? Because these people over here are not educated. They're 12th pass people, right? And these people have the ability to come out with innovations that is very low cost and which is solving the problem to such a huge extent. This is Mr. Anish Karma. He's come out with an innovation that can solve, people who are facing issues with the, the leg, the leg is not having a lack of strength in the knees or foot, and they need an external caliper. Now, external calipers definitely exist in the market, but these are not available at a cheaper cost, and a lot of you can't get flexibilities and things like that. You can't get those kind of things. So I'll share again one small quick video with you. This is just few seconds, and you can get to see how this person has actually solved the problem, right?
और मैं और मेरी वाइफ दोनों हैंडीकैप हैं, और मैं उनको देखता था कि उनको ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम होती थी। उस नीड को, उस अवस्था को हमने एक इन्वेंशन में कन्वर्ट किया। मेरा इन्वेंशन स्टांस कंट्रोल केफो है। उसमें एक रैचेट पोल का मैकेनिज्म दिया है, आपके लैग के अनुसार है, जिससे हम अपना जो काम डेली वर्क है वो आसानी से कर सकते हैं। इंडियन टॉयलेट में बैठ सकते हैं, नीचे बैठ सकते हैं, साइकिल चला सकते हैं। आगे हमें यही करना है कि जो भी ट्रायल है उसको हम अच्छे से ट्रायल करें, पेशेंट का फीडबैक लें और उसको इम्प्रूव करें, और जो भी हैंडीकैप लोगों तक ये चीज़ पहुँचे और उसको अच्छे से यूज करें।
So this guy has launched his company right now. They have started production. They are doing a lot of user testing right now, and they are trying to see how it will work for different patients. They're trying to get a lot of user feedback to improve. In order to improve, you can search it on Google. It's known as Aayush Tech, AUMEESH Tech, TECH. You can find this out on Google. They have been doing a lot of very valuable stuff. So multiple kinds of stories available in the ecosystem. You can also see how MICE also we encourage medical students to think out of the box, to find out to do a lot of brainstorming and ideating and doing a lot of these things. So we encourage all of you to take this process nicely and take this thing it's very useful and very helpful, because you are going to be a part of the change. So are you willing to be the part of the change which is going to happen in the world by innovation, by changing yourself and then changing the system? It's the choice is yours, and if you're willing to be part, you can join us in the journey of MICE Labs. Thank you so much. And I would just conclude by saying that if you want to start discovering impossible things, you have to go beyond impossible, and you can find a lot of very amazing good things in the impossible stage. You can connect us through these social media platforms. We are available on all these, and these are our contact details. You can visit our website, www.micelabs.in. You can connect us through there. Thank you so much, and we'll be hoping to see much more transformations. Aayush, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, Krishna sir. Thank you. That was a really insightful session. And just continuing with your story and how I got motivated myself to go on with this journey. Just for the viewers, I would like to share sort of my story, or a story which is known as Can a Medical Student Innovate? So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Aayush Bhadani. I'm currently an intern at Arjikar Medical College in Kolkata. I'm an extremely, sort of this picture resembles me. So you can see one stetho with the ECG reading, and there's a second side of me, which has the technological aspect of my side. Sort of. So basically, like all of you, I was a 12th standard student, pretty good in academics. And you all know the two roads diverged in a woods, and one was the engineering and the other was the medical, which is the common parent theory. So I was also confused as to what should I take up for my career choices. I was quite good in mathematics, so I had taken PCMB, and I also qualified JEE as well as IIT Bangalore. So I was quite skeptical, to be very honest, as to what to join. There was a mind of mine which was thinking, oh, you should go for medical, or oh man, you should go for engineering, So I obviously took the road less traveled by. I took up medical, and so that was my choice. And well, when I entered my MBBS life, this is a sort of a normal day in my MBBS life. And you can see the first year books. I don't want to comment on the right-sided picture, but the left-sided picture is quite familiar to all of you guys watching us online. The first year anatomy dissection hall scenes. I was a little bit, kind of frustrated as to what is going. I would have a normal life, and they said that medicine was fun, and this was sort of my brain as well. I was not able to process anything. I would just be frustrated most of the time. I would try to, sleep on the right time after visiting my seniors' rooms and coming back around 4 a.m. in the night, and then starting early morning for 9 a.m. Lecture. Maybe going there, sleeping in the backside, and just worrying, taking exams after exams, be it the part exams or the semesters. I had absolutely no idea what was going on. There was a time I was so frustrated. I was thinking, should I drop out of the MBBS and should I shift back to my engineering? Because there I would see my engineering friends partying and, attending all those fests and inviting all those big shot guys of Bollywood. And I was here sitting with my skeleton, just talking to him. It's obviously kind of extremely frustrating. So I was searching for an escape when I saw this poster one day on the Facebook. This was in 2016 at the end of my first year. And I just read this last line that it will witness doctors, engineers, entrepreneurs coming together. So I said, is this somewhere those diverged roads meet? I was a little skeptical. Anyways, I went for it. And this was basically a medical hackathon. I had absolutely no idea first year, no knowledge of this whole medical curriculum, except a little bit of anatomy, physio, and biochem. And, later when I went there, I realized that there's a whole new world out there. And, we made this NATS folks, we established our first company. And well, we won around 20,000 rupees cash by winning the prize. And it was basically a micro drip controller. So we often see the nurses, they count the number of drops falling per second and they calculate. And, it's quite cumbersome. You have to calculate the exact doses of the antibiotics or the pain medications which is going on, especially when you're thinking of the children. You can't just randomly prescribe medicines. You have to be a little bit cautious. And, we use some infrared mechanism, and it just counted the number of drops falling per second automatically. And it gave a reading. We also attached sort of a small monitor on the board, which you would see. And that displayed the next medicine which was pending. And we connected it via a central channel to the nurse desk, where she would know that, okay, this bottle is, over. It is a quite common scene in hospitals where the patient relatives would come and say that, doctor, the saline bottle is over, what to do? And I'm quite frustrated with that. I have to say, okay, please stop, just lower down the wheel. And we often do that. But we actually found a good solution to it. Well, my second and third year was more of looking for the right people and building contacts, visiting good conferences, be it Medicon or Conessa, and, just interacting with engineers and medical, non-medical friends of mine, some designers, just thinking as to what is going in the outside world, not just limited to my own books. However, I was also trying to build up my concepts of the medical school. We all say second and third year are very important. So I was also, studying and getting good grades in my academics, as well as, visiting these places like the Biogenomics Institute at Calcutta or some other places. And well, it was only in my final year that I finally found the magic lamp, which was by luck, by fluke, I don't know. Upon this poster, which was shared by one of my contacts I built in one of the conferences. And this basically was a medical device hackathon, Medha 2019, which was being conducted by BETIC. BETIC is established at IIT Bombay. So I just applied for it. I had a good CV with some research papers and some case presentations and just some certificates and leadership skills which I had gathered around. And I just applied and I was selected. I went to Nagpur. I took a 3-day off from my college and we developed this bed wetting device. So the problem statement was that small children often they bedwet. So bedwetting is not a problem till 5 years, but after that, if if a 10-year-old boy just bedwets, it's really worrisome for the mother as well as for the child, and he feels a little bit demotivated. So we sort of used sensors which sensed the muscle detrusor muscle tone, and according to Genong, if you see a chart, just before there is a voiding pressure which is there, just before the sphincters relax, the detrusor contracts, and just that contraction peaks, we picked it up by these myosensors which was put in the device and over here, and we basically also attached that to the mobile app, and it would just give a quick beep alarm to the mother saying that the child is about to bedwet, so you just go on and wake him up. And also it would remind next day the mother that your child didn't bedwet, you should get him a chocolate. So that's like a psychological positive reinforcement therapy we used, and we also 1 year, it was a really successful project. We are on the verge of patenting this idea right now. Well, obviously that was my final year now, and my heart would miss a beat when I would think about my clinics and the piles of books. Just wondering, if I don't study right now, will I fail? It was quite tiring, and it was a stressful journey, to be very honest. But people say if you are extremely motivated and you like something from your bottom of the heart, something strikes. So this was just between my theory and practical exams. I remember giving my surgery theory exams and taking a flight in the midnight around 2 a.m. just reaching Delhi in the morning, attending the whole session, then taking a flight back late night, and then coming back and giving my medicine practicals. So he's the School of International Biodesign head. Sir is the School of International Biodesign at Ames Delhi head, and he called me later and he asked me that, Aayush, did you pass the practical? And I was like, yeah, sir, I did. I somehow managed to do it. Obviously, it's not possible, when you have not slept and then you have to face the vivas of those externs. To be honest, so yeah, this was it, and still I didn't stop. I don't know what happened, but after my after my semesters, I got this opportunity to go to MEDIC. So MEDIC is again a bio-innovation hackathon campaign, which is done for 5 days at IIT Bombay. And we have many participants from across you would say India, not from, of my age, but people who are already have own startups, who are already entrepreneurs, and who are like engineers who own, devices, who have invented. They came, and we had amazing boot camp for 5 days. We learned from so many people, those small little skills of how to innovate. And this device, basically, which you see, is a sort of a thermosensing glove. So my problem statement was peripheral vascular diseases. So to be very honest, what happens is, you detect the changes quite late. And by the time the changes come, for example, those varicosity or, peripheral artery disease, say diabetic foot, it's too late. So can we sort of screen that earlier? And we developed this device, and we saw that temperature of physiological phenomena which took place quite earlier than the diabetic foot pathology. And also we used 2 other technologies, video plethysmography and impedance plethysmography. I have sort of electrodes attached to my skin, and I was just checking the resistance of the skin, a normal skin and a dead skin. So if that could give me some signs. Well, this is also in development stage right now. We'll discuss more about it later maybe. And I got an opportunity to attend this BedTech, a world of innovation in itself. We have Professor B. Ravi. He's sort of he's a genius guide. I don't know what to say about him. He's single-handedly established BedTech, and now it's running at IIT Bombay. And they have developed devices like IU-Link, a diabetic foot screener, a heart valve template, hybrid plaster splint. These are the 3D printed bones. These are all 3D printed. They also have a 3D printed heart and sort of a bony heart, a bony skeleton of a heart. But it's amazing. Basically, they are engineers. They don't know much about the medical scenario. They don't know exactly about what's happening out there. But by these tools, they do work. And it was just 15 days to my final practical exams, while all my batchmates were studying, I was sort of enjoying the AI summit at Kolkata. And I was also wondering what I would do with my internship money when I passed my final exams. An iPad was one of the things which I would buy. I never knew that I would get an iPad as a prize in this healthcare summit. So yeah, things were in my favor. And it's going on till now. But obviously, I passed the final professionals. Right now, doing my internship, enjoying my medicine and surgery posting. But what next? Not that next, which the medical students are waiting for, but what next exactly? So now I'm stuck up as to what specialty do I need to choose, or is it a dead end for my innovation career? But to be honest, with all my research which I've done, I don't think it's a dead end. And to the medical viewers who are viewing me right now, don't worry. You have a whole sort of an environment and ecosystem running there to support you. We have some medical innovation and entrepreneurship as a career option. We have Stanford Institute of Biodesign. We have School of International Biodesign at New Delhi. We have the MMST scholarship, which is at IIT Kharagpur. We have MedInnovate at Germany. You can any day, apply for these fellowship programs and take this as a career option. Maybe come up with some good device, innovate, and be as a top-notch entrepreneur one day. Also, we have some incubation centers like Mice Labs, and we also have BIRAC, which is the big Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. And they often give prizes like sort of grants up to 50 lakh rupees. Many of my friends have already won it and they're working. We also have BETIC and the Andhra MedTech Center. So it's a whole new world out there. You don't need to be worried as to what will happen. I'm also not worried maybe. I don't know exactly, but you can take both careers. You can either be a doctor and work in these incubation centers with your ideas in mind, or you can do a full-time fellowship at these places and maybe shift gears to an innovation career. So this was all from my side today. Thank you very much. You can connect me at these links. I have whatever I have displayed, and I really look forward to the presentations today. And I'm hopeful that I'll gain some more insight into this innovation world. Thank you so much. I would like to now invite Mr. Abhishay Shetty sir for his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aayush. That was a wonderful little talk wherein you could actually share your story with other medicals. I'll just share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, hi everyone. Are you all awake? So let's begin on that note, because the presentation has been going on continuously. So I'd like to see a yes in the comment. Yes, let's go in the comment box if possible from all of you. I cannot see the comments, but it would be nice of you if you can just type that in the comments. Okay, all right. So so first up, so now that we guys have had the idea, we guys have thought about what is going on, what do we need to do? That part is figured out. Now I am going to talk about how to take your idea ahead and how to carry it such that you can make an impact within the society. So, for all those guys who might be wondering, how does the road ahead look like? So, this particular figure which I've shown on the left. So, the road ahead particularly isn't perfectly straight. Rather, it should be a cyclic process wherein once you've made something, you need to go back again to where you found the inspiration from and the people you talk to, and then improve upon your idea. So here's the overview of what I'm going to speak. Going back to the key persons who were involved with the idea, that is the stakeholders. Second is refining the concepts based on their suggestions and their feedbacks, because actual improvement does not happen just in the lab or where you're working. Actual improvement happens when you go out and work there. Future developments, that is how to scale your idea for millions. And last but not the least, how to get support for your idea. So before we begin, I'd like to share a small story about how external feedback helps you to go forward in your innovation journey. So meet Digiterm, a temperature monitoring non-contact device, which we had developed ourselves at MICE. So if you can see the small sensor on the left, from that we were able to scale it up, 3D print it, and make a technology which can measure temperature wirelessly and without contact. So one aspect of, so you guys might be aware, right? The gold standard for measuring temperature of human beings is the thermometer, the mercury thermometers. So these non-contact thermometers have a particular advantage in that they require less sanitization, and second part is they do not require as much waiting time as the original mercury thermometers. So after building that, I was just playing around with that. When Krishna sir suggested to me, why don't you take the device, which is on the right hand side, to the wards and check out how it is working out. So you can see the temperature being displayed on the photo itself, right? So I was like, okay, let me give it a try. But when actually I went to the ward with this idea, I realized not only were the readings inaccurate, that is, it was giving a difference of 1.5 to 2 degrees, but it was also a not so good design, because if you can see the black colored wire on the behind of the photograph, that was actually impeding the temperature measurement, especially for nurses who are used to measuring the temperature from the axilla. So that was a challenge which we understood from going there in the lab itself, in the wards itself. So whenever you come across and whenever you develop something, make sure that you go back to the key persons and the key stakeholders, especially the patients. That is one aspect. So second aspect of it is that you need to look into the regulatory approvals. That is post. So when you carry on with your idea, you need to ensure that the idea which you build or the technology which you build is safe for patients, because medical technology is held at a higher standard for precision as compared to any other technology, right? So next, going ahead, how can you take your idea ahead? So I would say there are two main components. That is, one is people and one is money. So talking about people, you definitely need to talk to people who have some experience in the field, like entrepreneurs, investors, design thinking people, medicals, and engineers. Why? Because each of these people carry their own unique stories from the field, which you can not just understand, but when you're implementing your idea, that time it will help you improve and scale up quickly. So each of them brings a unique set of experiences, which you definitely need to tap into. So, and the second part of it is funds. So there is a unique concept here, which is called as building up from your own funds or bootstrapping. So a small story here, bootstrapping, what it means is, so I'm sure all of you guys know hiking, right? Trekking or going up mountains. So imagine your startup or your idea journey to be trekking up the hill. So funding or the money aspect of it will be something like a supply, say water or food. So you could definitely, so one idea is to, carry your own small water bottles of 2-3 liters and drink it limited and ensure and conserve it for the end, till the trek ends. You could actually order lots of waters, like, you could claim that I need a lot of water, and you can get those big 20-liter cans. But you also need to think about the aspect that carrying it and taking it to the end is going to be a big challenge for you guys, because lifting it is a constraint, plus it will drain you off while you carry on with the journey. So funds, so there is a lot of confusion around this, that should we go for getting money from someone else, VC funding, angel investors, big terms. So I would tell you that at the starting, build and conceptualize your idea using your own funds or using your own close circle. That would make sure that you have the resilience and confidence to build up on your idea. As well, so if you feel that at a certain stage there is a certain lack of funds or paucity of funds for your growth, there is support from government as well as non-government organizations for scaling up your idea. So as even Ayush mentioned, so there is the big scheme. So basically, government through soft loans or development grants can give from 5 lakhs to 50 lakh rupees for developing and taking your idea. Because the important thing is that innovation should have an impact in the society, and especially with medical innovations, because our healthcare system is broken. That is why all these government funds are available for us to tap into and develop our ideas further. So even if you decide not to work on your idea and give this idea for someone else to develop, there are manufacturing partners who can come ahead, take your idea and develop it for the masses. So they will not only ensure that the product is taken to the masses, but they will also ensure that you are paid for your efforts. So royalty and other expenses shall be covered to you. So licensing is another good option. But now you might be wondering, sir, you've told this much, but how do we find out, the right investor, the right mentor, the right guide? So to that, I would say, finding out the right investor or the right person to guide you is like finding your life partner. It does take a lot of time, patience, and efforts, but at the end of it, it is worth it. And I can definitely tell you that there is no one size fits all approach. There cannot be, because every idea and its journey is unique and its target audience will be unique. So this is one suggestion that I would ask you: read up, research more, and take time before going ahead with your decisions. And last but not the least, if you feel that the ideas you're developing need some kind of support, be it reaching out to the market, getting experts on board and getting their suggestions, having some tools to work on and design something. So there are these incubation centers, the ones which I mentioned here. Definitely make a note and screenshot it perhaps. So there are, so I've tried to include a list from all over India so that anybody in India can access these resources. These incubators, very similar to the baby incubators which we are aware about. So they help you not only in nurturing your idea, but they handhold you until you reach a certain success point. So make sure that these resources are tapped into and utilized well. Okay. And so also some of these incubators have testing facilities. So as I mentioned, the quality aspect of medical devices, the testing facilities play a key important role. So these incubation centers mostly also have testing facilities. So you can test out your current ideas as well with them. So make sure that you utilize them well. And last but not the least, so this, as this quote goes, every big idea or every big company starts small. So I would like to add two things: that nurturing a company is very similar to like nurturing a baby. So you need to put in the efforts, you need to put in the time, you need to care for it, because at the end of the day, the company or the name or the idea which you build is just a piece of paper. What efforts and other things go beyond is the person, which is you behind the screen. And what better nurturer for medical innovations than the medicos themselves? So on this note, I would like to end this talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Abhishay sir. It was absolutely an enthralling session, and I'm sure all the innovators out there who are stuck with their ideas must be now getting some insight into how they can take their idea forward and to meet the right kind of investors. We'll be going ahead with the presentations now. We have our esteemed judge, Dr. Sandip Halder sir. He's the professor of surgery, assistant professor of surgery at Arjikar Medical College in Kolkata. Sir has been extremely motivating for all his students, and he has worked with the students for their research projects, paper presentations, and he has also taken workshops and presentation skills. He's one jury. I'll just advise all the presenters to be a little, you need to take care about sir, because he's very, very keen on your presentation skills and how well you have used your presentation slide properly. So welcome Sandeep sir. I hope you are here with us.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. It's all getting tangled. Can you hear me, Ayush? Can you hear me, Ayush? Hello.
Just a little louder.
Hello,
Sir.
Ayush. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this is better, sir.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me to this competition. It's always a pleasure to be among the innovators and thinkers, and I'm pretty excited to know that there will be 10 presentations, and I've participated in the past in such competitions, and has seen quite a few ideas are very good. So I'm looking forward to some of the very good ideas with this very intelligent and bright people who are the future of India. Yeah, so let's begin. Thank you very much, and best of luck to all the presenters.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll hand it over to Krishna, sir, for explaining the judging criteria. And before he does, I'll just let all the viewers and presenters know that we have 8 amazing presentations lined up. And they'll be getting 5 minutes each for presentation, 1 minute for the conclusion slide. And we'll be having around 5 minutes of a sort of question answer or a grilling session for them. So over to you, Krishna, sir, if you could tell our viewers and the participants about the judging scheme.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ayush. So thank you so much, Dr. Sandip, also for joining us over here. So what we have done is we are trying to do like digital judging, because everybody is sitting in different places. So I'll just share my screen and I'll be showing all the participants, whoever have assembled over here, to kindly note that this is going to be your judging criteria. So we are basically giving you the paper right away. Your answer sheet or your answer sheet is right away. We'll be marking on these kind of sheets. Every judge has their own individual sheet. We will be marked on 4 basic parameters, that is the need, novelty, effort, and value. Each parameter gives you 10 points. So judges, please note that you will have to give the participants based upon out of 10, and 0 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. Also, your parameters, like to give you more better explanation of what exactly is need. Need is how clear is your need statement. However, how clearly have you defined that? Novelty is how unique and innovative is the concept or your idea. How is it new, and how is it able to how innovative it is. The third thing is effort. How much effort have you put together to build your concept? Have you built just a sketch, or have you built a POC? Have you done a prototype? Whatever is that, you will be marked upon that. Value is your product having a potential to commercialize, and is it going to fit to the market? Is it ready for market innovation? So these are the 4 parameters which we'll be judging on you. And here we'll write the topic names, and each one will be marked on these particular parameters. I hope the parameters and the judging criteria is clear. The reason why we showed this particular thing to you, so that you also know that how you'll be judged and how you'll be marked while giving this presentation. Okay, so wishing all the participants all the very best, and handing over it to the organizers to take over towards the presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, just before that, just 1 minute. Ayush, is Dr. Sandip able to access the scoring sheet?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is. He is able to access.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir. You can find it with your name on that. You can press that particular tab, and that will be your sheet. Yeah. Yeah. Over to you guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mitali, please take over.
Yeah. All right. So we have Fatima and team, innovative creator explorers again. So good luck. Whenever you're ready, just tell me. I'll start the time.
Yeah, just give me 1 moment, please.
All right.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes, just one. Yeah. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. We are the Innovative Creative Explorers, the ICE team. The project we are looking to present today to all of you is Detect to Protect, D2P. The reason our model is special is because it is simple, smart, and secure. The problem that we are looking to solve with our innovative model is the rise in the cases of road traffic accidents due to drunken driving. The magnitude of the problem lies in the impact on human lives, which in high income countries is around 20% of the road traffic accidents due to alcohol consumption, and in low and middle income countries, this percentage is 69%. In terms of the impact on economy, the total cost of crashes due to drunken driving is around $44 billion annually.
Alcohol is dangerous while driving because alcohol has effects on certain chemicals like inhibitory neurotransmitters like GABA and excitatory neurotransmitters like glutamate, the combined effects of which lead to central nervous system depression and altered mental status and lack of alertness.
For the problems that we have just mentioned, the innovative solution that we present is our model, D2P. For this model, we both have created a prototype together, which we are looking forward to implement on a large scale and commercialization of this project. The main purpose behind this project is to stop drunken driving.
The working of the project model is like this. When the person sits inside the car who has consumed alcohol and tries to switch on the car ignition, the alcohol is detected by the sensor. The sensor then gives the signal to the comparator IC, which then gives the output to the microcontroller, which is the heart of the project or the CPU of the computer of the complete circuit. And then we have the microcontroller, which gives a high pulse to the buzzer circuit, which gets turned on. At the same time, the relay is turned off, due to which the car ignition does not switch on.
Here is a small video just demonstrating the working of our prototype.
When we switch this on and bring alcohol, it begins to start beeping, and also the motor stops.
The four characteristic features of our model is that the materials are easily available in most of the countries. Second is the economic feasibility. The average prices over here are the microcontroller dirhams 25, alcohol sensor dirhams 40, buzzer dirhams 50.
The third characteristic feature of our model is its operational feasibility. Since the entire model is a simple circuit, it can easily be secured in a safety box and fitted into car or other automobiles. In terms of technical feasibility, the model is extremely feasible because it is easy to set up the hardware system as well as to repair in case of any sort of discrepancies or need for repair arises.
The market value of our product is dirhams 100 to 150 dirhams. And this value is based on the prices of the individual parts, installation charges, and maintenance services.
Now, the competitive advantage that our model has over other similar models which are present in the market today is the fact that our model directly involves stopping the ignition, which works as a safety check system. The second point is the simple drive circuit, which makes it easily available materials in almost all countries in the world. So this can be implemented at a global level. This model has a long life, low maintenance cost, and does not need a lot of maintenance.
Also, it can be secured in a compact box, which can be placed in the features of the automobile, car, or vehicle, which means it does not require much space. And it has a really high good sensitivity to alcohol gas, which makes the detection easy and quicker and faster.
Now, the future scope we are looking to improve with this model is to introduce, along with this, GSM technology, which is known as Global System for Mobile Communication. The purpose will be to use text SMS to inform the relatives or the owners of the vehicle about alcohol consumption.
We can also implement the GPS technology in the vehicle so that the alcohol detection is done faster and the relatives or the friends can make out where the person is located so that they can pick him up because he is not able to drive himself. So we believe in the fact what APJ Abdul Kalam says, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And one of the best ways is to bring it about innovation. And so you have to believe it before you see it.
For this, we seek your support in implementing this prototype of D2P at a large scale level implementation. Signing off, this is the Icebreakers. Thank you.
Amazing presentation, guys. We did well within time. Next, we have teamwork, and before that, we would conduct the question and answer session. So I would request the judges to please go ahead.
Hi, so can I go ahead?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Fatima, so great idea and great work on the disabling part for the driving. So I had this one concern which came up while I was thinking about your idea. So so if the situation is something like one person, so assume there are two or more people traveling in the car, and there is one person who is not drunk or is sober, and the other person is, I mean, drunk or is inebriated. So in that situation, what kind of mechanism or I mean, how can this be improved upon or worked upon? Because I think I am thinking of a lot of those situations which can happen. So taxi drivers or people who are going to carry other people. So
Yes, sir. So this is a very nice question. And for this, we both had discussed that we will try to implement this system such that it's incorporated either into the door of where the driver sits or directly into the steering wheel. Because like we also realize the fact that when we tell that someone else should go pick this person up, the alcohol is still there in the system of the car. So we decided that with a bit more personalization, we will limit the range to where the driver is being seated, and we can also have a specific concentration or a minimum amount at which this will start to happen, like
okay,
personalizing
okay.
towards the door of the driver or the steering wheel specifically.
Okay, thank you so much. And one more concept I was wondering about is so you talked about alcohol, right? So
Yes.
is there any effect of perfumes or those other DO compounds? Because I believe the chemical composition is more a bit less related to alcohol specifically. So does that affect this as well? Uh,
Yes,
sensor?
so when we were building up this model, we thought the same point because many deos and many perfumes have alcohol. But again, if we calibrate it, like it should reach a threshold or a minimum concentration before which it starts beeping. Because when the person consumes alcohol directly, the concentration is going to be different from what is there in products which are like in combination with other products. So the concentration is very different. So if you calibrate it to how much is it when the minimum, like for example, one drink or half a drink, how much concentration in the smell or in the surrounding is produced of the individual, only then it will get switched on like the threshold value, then this problem can be I think effectively tackled that way.
So see, so my concern is that drinking specifically would be sort of a oral this thing, right? So the whatever the concentration of the gases will be like from an oral this thing, and so DOs and all those concerns will be on the cloth. So the surface area will be more versus as compared to just oral. So are you sure that those will not have any effect?
So the thing is that as of now, we have created a prototype of this model. And to make it a reality, what we require is the support of another set of sector of people like engineers, computer scientists, computer engineers to understand how exactly we can calibrate and design this for a real scale, large scale implementation. For this, the only thing we are able to think of now, or we are looking forward to implement as of now, is to measure the concentration by smell, because when we talk about perfumes there is an alcohol content but it's not enough to make someone inebriated, right? The person does not lose consciousness or have those kind of things when they just are putting even too much perfume. So there is a concentration difference which we are looking to use to make this model very personalized.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, hello, Fatima. An excellent presentation and very good innovation. I'm just concerned about the applicability of this by the car manufacturers will be interested to do it, and we need to do it for every car as it appears, because you cannot let some cars go with this and some others won't be having this. Have you thought about it?
Yes, the thing is that actually the thing is that this project was developed. The whole thing is about the safety and the number of crashes that are happening because of alcohol detection. I feel it's important. It's like vitally important to even make the manufacturers understand and actually believe in this idea
because when you implement this, it's one way is that it is going to be an advantage. Survival is literally like a survival benefit because it's going to prevent the number of crashes if you see the statistics. So it's the duty will depend on us and the engineering sector to, you know, kind of motivate them and make them realize how important it is. Also, sir, we are basically tackling two problems with our innovation, as we mentioned in the earlier slides. The first is the impact of human lives. As medical people, our first idea always in the world is in general to save lives and to prevent diseases or to prevent disability. So that is the impact on human lives. But the second very important aspect to
that's fine.
concern
Okay.
the
Yeah, that's fine. And the other thing, like, is it for the cars only or motorcyclists as well?
No, it's for any automobiles,
Would you
cars.
think of something? But will you fix it to the as you said, you want to fix it somewhere. Either it can be inbuilt or it can be like fixed it by somebody, and there should be a regulation that it should be mandatory. That's absolutely perfect. But I was just wondering, like, anything you thought about putting it to the motorcycle?
Sir, your we lost
Accidents
voice.
we find given Calcutta on a motorcycle. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sir. Yeah. Now we can hear you, sir.
You can hear me. I was thinking, like, you can probably think about some device to be attached to the motorcyclist, maybe with his body or.
Yes, so definitely. I think with this more automobile prototype which we have created is for automobiles currently, but this is a very good point that we could also add it with motorcycles, scooters, motorbikes, because these are also a lot of the vehicles which the youth of our country is using.
We get maximum number of RTAs involved, like motorcyclists. Okay.
Yes, so definitely.
Okay, good.
We will look for a way to implement. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good.
I think I just want to remind, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I just want to remind everyone that it's been 6 minutes, so all the judges, please try to limit yourself to one question each, and we can take the rest of the questions in the end, if that's all right.
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So the next team is Team Who.
Thank you, sir.
Please, thank you, Fatima. Today, please unmute yourself, Team Who.
Yes.
And just let me know whenever you're ready.
Yeah, just a moment. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are. We can't see your sound.
Okay, just a minute. All right. Just a moment. Can you see our screen?
Yeah, please start.
Okay, ready. Good afternoon, one and all. We are a team of enthusiastic third-year medical students, and we present you the HOPE model. It's an integrated, sustainable approach for managing pandemic, epidemic, and endemic diseases. So how did we start? What are the problems here? So from our medical curriculum and the pandemic, we have realized that we lack an integrated approach to handle the community's problems. And these are some of the major ones that we wanted to impact. Starting with primary healthcare. It has always been underfunded, and during a crisis situation, it gets the most hit. Next, there's a lack of proper sanitation, and non-biodegradables like PPEs and masks are increasingly used. Also, in a 2019 global mobile study, it was reported that India's smartphone penetration is only 36.69%. That means majority of Indians still have a barrier to avail personalized telemedicine services. And lastly, high unemployment rate is also a problem. Before we go to our solution, we would like to acknowledge the existing Basti Dawkhanas of Telangana and Mohalla clinics of Delhi, which served as our role models. We build our solution upon these. So Mohalla clinics are a one-stop service with 3 Ds, which reduce out-of-pocket expenditure. They converge national health programs and telemedicine services. But according to recent data, it was reported that over 2,000 health workers in Delhi had contracted COVID, and among them, one Mohalla doctor had passed away. So we see that in the present scenario, these mohalla clinics, even though they have improved general health care, they're still not geared to face the pandemic situation. So our model wants to make them more efficient to address these highly transmissible infectious diseases. And how are we doing that? Our model is under the idea of proposal of open OPDs with modified hygiene etiquettes in toilets. We'll have an integrated auto rickshaw connected to the open OPD. There'll be medical students who'll be volunteering with us, and there'll also be broadcasting screens in the waiting area of these open OPDs. So what exactly is open OPD? It's an outpatient clinic that will be set up in open spaces like government lands, stadiums, parks, which will not only reduce the transmission, but also lessen the sanitation cost. The mohalla clinics can be shifted to these open spaces according to the convenience. So before we go to the model, we would like to explain that before entering, you need to have a mandatory umbrella to ensure social distancing and making sure that one hand is occupied. At the gate, you would be segregated according to the ICMR triage protocol, and you would either be screened for a seasonal disease or you would be led into a waiting area where advertisements will be broadcasted. There will be awareness about emergency services here. And once you go to the doctor, there will be a high ceiling fan that will be inserted between both of you. This is to reduce the aerosol spread. We would like to call this idea as Hawa ka joka, kitano ko doka. So once you're done with the doctor's visit, you can, if the doctor suggests any investigations, there'll be an integrated auto rickshaw service where you can avail your diagnostic services. And while exiting, a medical student volunteer will be there to give you awareness about different seasonal precautions that you could take, or how complications develop from non-communicable diseases. So these open OP models can be molded and dynamically modified according to the available resources as well as the space. We also would like to modify the hygiene etiquettes in toilets by using low-cost, do-it-yourself, foot-operated installments in toilets. These are found on multimedia platforms like YouTube. You can easily produce them. We would also like to promote the usage of disposable and biodegradable slippers and mugs, which could be produced by banana leaf technology. This not only contributes to hands-free toilets, it makes it safe for sanitation workers and also contributes to self-sufficient India. Since we are using less of foot and less of hands and more of foot, we want to call this idea as Haath Piche, Kadam Aage. The integrated auto rickshaw service will not only help the vulnerable elderly, but also give better disease surveillance in the locality. Our estimated cost for our idea of open outpatient clinics with the capital investment as well as the operation cost totally amounts to 1,20,000. All the staff members would be wearing reusable PPE kits, which are developed by IIT Delhi. And the banana leaf articles, the inventor was contacted to know the approximate costs. So why is it feasible? Because the lack of budget is going to be addressed by using a public-private partnership model. Here, the capital expense will be handled by the available infrastructure being taken from the mohalla clinics. The new infrastructure will be taken from CSR schemes. Operational expenses will be handled by fast-moving consumer goods and pharma companies. How are we getting a human resource? It'll be from the existing medical staff, new corporate recruits, as well as medical students who are interested to volunteer. We'll be making use
Shweta,
of
sorry to interrupt. Your 5 minutes are up. Please conclude.
There will be self-help groups and small, medium enterprises. And the idea can reach any person universally, even without a smartphone. That's the best thing about our idea. So who's going to benefit from it? The public, because they get better healthcare. The government, because they can the financial load is shared with the corporates. And the return of investment would be there to pharma companies because they can broadcast targeted advertising. It's a win-win model for all the sectors. So we would like to end our presentation with a quote that inspired us. Where there is life, there is hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta. We would like to move on to the judges now, please. You have 5 minutes.
Good one, Shweta. So it was a good presentation. I had this question about what are your operational costs which you're looking at for this particular model which you have proposed?
The operational costs, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, there will be about the transportation.
Okay, because even though I see a lot of frugality in your model, your service range, why is there a lot of operational costs occurred in terms of?
Sir, I would like to pitch in. My name is Pratiksha. I'm from the same team. So operational costs include transportation services. As we said, there's an auto rickshaw. So obviously there will be a incurring transportation cost for the diesel or petrol. Then the human resources, the staff has to be paid on a regular basis. And about the banana leaf slippers and mugs, these are disposable one-time use products. So it will be recurring. Every month we'll have to get a new supply. So this will also help in sustaining the nearby self-help groups. And of course, we have to maintain the shade of the open OPD. There'll be a shade present there. So all those things be included in the operational costs. And of course, there'll be a miscellaneous expenditure all the time.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. It was a nice. Sorry to interrupt, sir. So please go ahead.
It's quite interesting, and at this point of time when we are suffering from this pandemic, we are all affected. It's quite an innovative idea. Have you thought of the seasonal variation in India? Like there are rainy seasons, there are terrible summer hot days in most part of the country. And especially you will be dealing with some of the patients who may be dehydrated and waiting time kind of in these areas.
Yes, sir. When we came across with open OPDs, we thought of it as a very dynamic solution because open OPDs can be actually molded according to the specific climate. If it's slightly drizzling, then of course the shades will suffice. But suppose in India, it rains on like 3 days continuously, there's flooding. So we can always shift back to the original Mohalla clinic indoors. So that is always a part of our solution. This is just an extension of the Mohalla clinic nearby.
All right. Okay. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
It was a very nice presentation, Team Hope. I was just wondering, you guys emphasized a little bit on the auto, on the concept of auto. So if you could just tell again, and how are you going to, sanitize this auto, or how are you maintaining this social distancing in this auto? Because how many autos would you be using? Because all this will lead to more cost of the project if you're looking at, sanitizing the auto again and again and using more autos.
Yes, sir. So why we chose an auto was because it is open, relatively open when compared to a car. In Basti Dawakhanas, already there is a big sumo car that is that has the job of attending to the diagnostics. But we've chosen auto because the cost of an auto is low. It's relatively open, so easier to sanitize, and also can travel through clumsy and crowded areas. Now you may ask why we didn't choose a bike instead. That is cheaper. But we didn't use a bike because we also want to cater to elderly population who might find it difficult to sit on bikes and travel. So that's why we chose an auto. And of course, auto is much easier to sanitize when compared to a car, since it's much open. We can also install a screen between the driver and the patient, just like the current scenario is going on. As we see on the roads these days. Those Ola autos and Uber autos, etc.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are there any more questions, sir? If not, then we can move to the next team. The next team is Team Third AI. Thank you, Team Hope. Should I start with the presentation?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, can I start?
Right, you can start.
Good afternoon. We are Team Third AI,
an AI-based monitoring solution for healthcare organizations. And today, I'm going to tell you our idea to leverage AI to revamp our healthcare system. Picture a cancer patient undergoing chemotherapy, or someone due for a liver transplant, or even a pregnant woman. Is holding up at home, indefinitely postponing doctor visits really a viable option for millions of patients? Because their medical needs will inevitably draw them straight to where they're very likely to get infected, the hospital. Around 1/5 of coronavirus infected patients and 9 in 10 cases among healthcare workers were infected in hospitals. So, what do? Proactive monitoring is an option, but it's expensive, time consuming, and complicated. So, we propose using our solution as the third eye to proactively monitor healthcare spaces. By relying on existing infrastructure like CCTV cameras, we're going to gather actionable data and uncover trends for our customers by assigning a contagious risk score for objects of interest and employing historical and event-based archives of data. We've adopted a 5-pronged approach. Our customers are first going to connect using a secure API via the internet and submit batch or real-time feeds to be processed. Our AI computer vision models will then detect objects of interest, say distance measurements or people counts, and assign a contagious score. This data is now going to be anonymized and then processed to find relevant events. Our historical databases can be used to create descriptive analytics and answer relevant questions, like what is the tendency for this floor, or when is this department most crowded? And finally, data is delivered to operations and business managers in a summarized dashboard for data-driven decisions. So here's a sneak peek at our dashboard. From our field research, we realize that most healthcare facilities already use some form of video surveillance, but they could maximize their investments and enhance operational efficiency by collaborating with us. So will we continue to be relevant even in a post-COVID world? Yes, because we'll be working hand in glove with healthcare professionals by extending our use cases, like detecting clues of serious illness or accidents or faster diagnostics and smarter safety control, and configure intelligent alerts based on this metadata to trigger real-time calls to action. So although this is a fairly untapped market, we do have competitors. But what makes our solution sustainable and unique? One, bringing all data points to one platform in a single user interface allows for early detection of threats. Next, we operate on existing CCTV infrastructure, and any modern IP camera with minimal specifications will work, thus helping in faster deployment. Our risk stratification system also provides actionable insights that can streamline operations and workflow. And we can extend our use cases in a post-COVID scenario to improve organizational efficacy with faster diagnostics, better patient care, disease prediction, and even smarter safety control. Coming to our business model, users will be billed on a monthly subscription with basic to premium packages based on the number of use cases. While our target customers include hospital and nursing home administrators, with time we hope to augment the scale of service. Our marketing strategy is through online portals and product demonstrations at sales calls. Our secure deployment options include one, the SaaS or the software as a service option, which provides a fast start as organizational facilities need to merely connect their cameras and start using the solution. We also have a secure on-premise option for organizations that have to comply with special security rules or need to operate offline most of the time. So in the current era of the Internet of Things, IP video isn't just about surveillance. It's about extracting value and intelligence from the captured video. Our solution will allow companies to not only show their workers and customers, but also their insurers and regulators that they're monitoring and enforcing safe practices. We are a diverse team of developers who can make this happen. Our mentors include Vince Coley, Google Startup Advisor, and Andre Villa, Big Data Analyst. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, as the world grapples with a pandemic like COVID-19, every ounce of technological innovation harnessed to fight this brings us one step closer to overcoming it. And that is how we at Third AI plan to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Third Eye. This was really amazing. I would like the judges to take that.
Hello. Third AI, a very intelligent project actually. Congratulations. Is it just a concept, or you developed the prototype actually?
So we actually have a prototype of those object detection models, like the social distancing, adherence checking, and also the mask detection, basically. And also we have the people counter detection model, which is everything is in a development stage though.
Right. So you just conceptualize the thing, if I have understood it right, isn't it?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So how do you, what will be your guidelines for indication of a risk?
Okay, so basically what we do here is we will be, for instance, if we take a Bay Area, which is most critical, and then those CCTV streams will be sent via an API to us, and we will be marking each and every compliance, like whether the person is not wearing a PPE properly, and also we will be tagging them with a particular Bay Area, and we will be providing with a dashboard analytics so that the organization can assign people to sanitize that area properly. So it also applies to all the objects also. For instance, if a person is I mean, if the person is touching an object without wearing a PPE, then that object can also be tagged so that it can be sanitized properly. So as to reduce the infection spread.
But you cannot. Is your software going to tell us that this is going to be a risk, critical risk? That's they're going to say, or that will guide also an action. Like, it's a dynamic process. Will your software guide us to do what to do, or it will just tell us that there is some incidents which is unsafe?
Yeah, so basically what we do here is we will be having a rule-based system wherein we will consider many cases and we'll be providing a risk score for that particular Bay Area. So we can also provide a risk score for an object also based on this rule-based system.
Right. Okay. So you have to develop a risk score as well and an alarm system. Yeah. Okay. Good. Very good. Yeah.
Hi team. Those were some great insights. I mean, sir also got clarified a lot of points. So my question here is, so in your target audience or in your reach out, who are you targeting? Is it a huge big government hospitals, or are you looking more towards like the private setups and monetized setups?
Okay, so basically, considering the current scenario, like all the hospitals, like all the emergency wards are being installed with cameras. So it's not like only the private hospitals, like the one with urban areas will be having cameras. So it is like the market size is huge because of this situation, everywhere they are installing cameras. So this doesn't need anything other than the existing camera facility. So our market is huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why I ask this question is, see, even though let's say the camera ecosystem or the camera infrastructure has come in, so my observation and my experience with the government hospital setup has been that even though there might be a camera ecosystem and someone monitoring it behind, but the internet ecosystem or the internet connectivity is especially poor throughout. So sometimes, I mean, it's so poor, just to give you a context, that they struggle to access the e-reports and e-systems for diagnosis. I mean, I've seen some struggles there. So doing something on the net, taking data off it and monitoring something like that would require a lot of bandwidth, right? So how do you plan to address that?
Okay, so that's why we provided two deployment options basically. One is like a software as a service. As you see, you just need to provide us the IP of the camera, and then we will be providing the solution. The another is like a on-premise, like you can have an own cloud on your premise that can be used to connect to all the IPs, and you can internally have your have the model working there. So that would reduce the bandwidth issue also, because you have the cloud in the premise itself, right? Yeah.
Both of these would require net connection, right? Just to be sure.
Yeah, so basically, if we have a private cloud inside the premise itself, then nothing will be processed through a centralized server. Because all the processing will be done inside the premise itself. So it needs just the local connection rather than the network bandwidth. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Team Third Eye. I would like to next begin with Brainstormers. Can we please have your screen?
Yes, one second. Am I visible? Is the screen visible?
You're not audible, Jackie.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible now. So your time begins. So now, good luck.
1 second. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Good afternoon. We are the Brainstormers. So let me start our journey with a story. Like everyone, she also thought that by following measures like
Voice is very faint.
Sorry.
Could you be closer to the mic or something? Your voice is very faint.
Is my
You muted. Try again, please.
Am I losing my time?
No. We stop the timer right now.
Yeah, I would start from the first.
Could you move closer to the laptop first?
Am I audible now? Clearly?
Is it audible? It's not very clear.
Do one thing, just turn off your video and come closer to the mic.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is it audible clearly?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's better. I'll start the timer now.
Yeah, start.
All
okay.
Right.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Brainstormers. So let me start our journey with a story. Like everyone, she thought that following measures like wearing a mask, sanitizing hands are going to help her prevent the COVID. But are going to help prevent the COVID. But unfortunately, she came in contact with a COVID-19 patient and was told to self-quarantine for 14 days. But during that quarantine period, she was faced with a lot of questions, doubts. This is not the story of just one person. It is the story of everyone. Even research indicates that hospitals are getting overwhelmed with patients. So that is why we came up with our problem statement, that is management methods at home for non-critical COVID patients. So our solution is Pandemic Pal, your virtual friend. This is an app that tracks the health of individuals and motivates good habits through reward system. It helps psychologically and builds togetherness. So as you can see, the first question our app asks is, how are you feeling today? If you're feeling good, it motivates you to keep going on. But if you're not, then it asks you to take a self-assessment test. So based on this test, the medicals can help the patient to go ahead with the next step. So our target population is mainly 3 categories: the general public, non-critical COVID patients, and the individuals. So as you can see, while the user is registering himself, the categorization is clear. So how does our app actually work for the general public? It motivates good habits such as eating healthy, practicing breathing exercises. But with a twist, it uses reward system. So it grants points for following them. It gives progress graphs, streaks are given. But why reward system? Because research indicates that reward system makes us follow something consistently, and makes us give our 100% to it. This is successfully used in apps like Duolingo. So this is the prototype where you can see goals are given, streaks and graphs are also given. So for the non-critical COVID patients, they are faced with a lot of questions. So but the doctors are busy on the front line. So we want to use a very valuable resource of our country, that is the medicos. So a common platform is provided for them to discuss their doubts. So a key point to be noted is that the medicos are certified after passing a short course on the management of COVID patients. The betterment graphs are also given. What are the special features of our app? One, it has a medication tracker. It has an emergency button which connects to the ambulance. It gives information about the testing centers, the vacant hospital beds, and the helpline numbers, etc. But a unique feature of our app is this telemedicine. In this state of social distancing, we cannot go to the hospital for every small ailment, but the user has many doubts. So he can take consultation from the retired doctors through the medical students. So the medical students act as a bridge between the user and the retired doctors. So for the quarantine individual, a very unique feature is that the app works on quarantine mode for the 14 days. So during the 14 days, it tracks the health of the patients. It gives them progress graphs, and also when the patient, when the quarantine individual crosses the radius of 400 meters, so for a grace period of 1 minute, then the medico can, if the person doesn't give a valid reason to the medico can notify the higher authorities. And during the grace period of 1 minute, a constant warning message is given to get back to the quarantine place. So business model, as you can see, our app, once installed, it is free of cost. The only resource that is needed is the foundation cost to make the app. And we are using valuable human resources like retired doctors and medical students. So there are similar apps like ours in other countries as well, in India as well, which use contact tracing. But what sets our app apart is this. It is a constant motivator and gives a reward system, streaks, medicos, retired doctors, and the progress and betterment graphs. Yo-ho, you're getting better every day. Dirty hands, sanitize them before it is too late. This is how we motivate our users. So this is a prototype of our app. And thank you. I'm Jahnavi, and this is my team.
Thank you, Janvi and team. We would like to take the judges for the questions.
Hello, Janvi. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, what about the language of this app? What's your idea about the literacy of our country and how many people can read, especially English? So, have you thought about this?
Yes, sir. This is a multilingual app which is available in all the languages. That is what we thought when we set it up.
Yeah. Do you think about anything like a gift sort of with some sound coming up, things like that? Probably a little bit of visual, stimulation. Probably. Yeah. I find it's a bit two problems I found. How did you address that? One is not all the people can read English, and other languages translation is a bit of a problem. And number two is getting hold of the people who are at the contact point. That's a terrible problem, especially in our state. We found that during COVID, you try to contact somebody, there's hardly an answer. You feel that there's no one on the other side of the phone. So this is, you have to address that it must go to somebody. If he is busy, it should go to somebody else like that.
Yes, sir. That is why medicos are available, like all the certified medicos are available, and whoever is available at that moment can talk to the person. And even the retired doctors, they just give their availability, and based on their availability, whoever is available will give their consultation.
Yeah. It could be a retired doctor. It could be a doctor who volunteers, actually. Doesn't
Yes,
need
sir.
to be retired
Yes, sir.
doctors. I'm not sure why you're telling retired doctors. Any doctor, actually. Doctors never retire in our country. Yeah. That's
Yes,
good.
sir. Any voluntary doctor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello,
Yeah.
Brainstormers.
Hi, Janvi team. It's a good presentation, good concept you have brought in. One question I had, you mentioned operational cost is zero, or it's free, like the business model behind it. So why do you say like that it is free? Because I feel there might be operational costs and like things associated with managing the app, maintaining the app. If there is some troubleshooting, there should be a team who's just taking care of the app. And I don't think so that any application that has been coming into the system today is just like that since many years. It keeps giving us updates, so there will always be a scope of improvement and change, right? So
Yes,
yeah.
yes, sir. That is why actually the free of cost was what we meant was to the public. Like the app is free of cost, but operational cost for our app and the foundation of the app, that cost remains. Yeah, I actually
Correct. So how are you going to recover those costs when it comes to the business model? Because you mentioned business model means free.
Yes.
Sir, I would like to answer that question. So I just read about how do free apps make money, and the major source of their income is by advertisements. So I thought since it's a free app.
Your voice is getting cut. Hello.
Okay, I'll just keep it closer to my mouth. I was thinking, like I read about how free apps make money, and the major source of their income is advertisements. So I think we can have advertisements in this free app to make that money for the operational costs.
Okay. So is it good enough that it is like negating the amount, like the money you gain by advertisements and all that? Is it negating the amount behind the operational costs?
I hope it does, but in case if it does not, then there are other means of making money in a free app. Like we can have in-app purchases, like buying masks.
Premium packages?
Yeah, premium packages, subscriptions. So I think all these methods will help us gain that money for the operation.
Okay.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
I have this one question, team. So I have actually seen your idea before also. I think so you were the same team which presented in SAMSACon, right? If I'm not mistaken, there was this SAMSA ideation event. Hello?
Yes, sir. We presented in hackathon.
Okay, yeah. So just one basic question that so you mentioned about retired doctors and medical students. So for the user, that is the general public or the person who is affected, there's some incentive to track his graph and work on it more, like Duolingo. That's the inspiration, I understand. But can you help me understand what will motivate or what will help the doctors be motivated to give those hours? Because I mean, even retired doctors, or for that fact medical students, they have their own commitments. Let's say talking to their patients, going out and stuff like that. So how will they because they face the same kind of thing, they are treating patients anyways, I mean, other than that also. So how will the motivation part maybe help for the people who are managing it? Because I think they are the critical part of the system for people who have doubts and stuff like that, right? So how do you ensure that they are also on board? That is one concern I have for this.
Yes, sir. We actually came up with this idea because as a medical student, we are medical students, third-year medical students, but on the front line, we are not able to do anything. But we want to do something, and there are even my fellow, my friends and all have expressed the same thought that they wish they could do something in this time. So I think many medical students would come forward, it's just a short course, and also medical students like us, we are not on the front line, so we are not that busy also. So that way we thought, and even doctors in that is also their voluntary thing, but we think many doctors would come forward because like who are not some doctors who are old age, they are not able to like go to the clinic and give their consultation because of the fear of this pandemic. But then through this virtual consultation, they will still be able to give their services. So that's what we thought. That's how we thought they will come forward.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a. Hello?
I'm so sorry to interrupt, sir, but the time is up. So we'll take the rest of the question at the end. Is that all right? Yeah, okay. So the next team we have is a Help All team. Could you please share the screen? Okay, good. The time starts now.
Yeah. So let's start. Let's start with the click of idea. We being from a small city always felt that inner pain for lack of exposure, resources, and argued with ourselves, asking the same question. If we would have known all those, we might be at a different place today. Due to limitations of reaching, I didn't come to know about conferences in my own city. An active, curious student always finds some or the other way to get acquainted with these opportunities. But what about an introvert who hardly has contacts? A medical student who feels that he's in low-grade college doesn't get to know about ways to express his inner talent. We Maharashtrians have a centralized medical university. Then why not a centralized platform to get to know about all those events occurring in all colleges of my own university? Problem. Events are important for medical students, yet they are often unaware of events happening around them. Event organizers are restricted by their options for event publicity. Currently, events are publicized in three major ways: share on social media platforms and share long clip WhatsApp messages on college groups, or assign a campus ambassador, or rely on word of mouth, which means depending on friends discussing events they come to know. Problems with these approaches are reach of messages on WhatsApp is limited to contacts they gather. A class of 60 students has 5 to 10 students interested in a particular event. The rest just scrolls through the long messages without reading it. A lot of potential students never get to know about the event as the messages never reach their WhatsApp group. We too came to know about Med Invent 2020 from one of those WhatsApp groups. Most of the time, if someone gets acquainted, but alas, it's of no use as the registration dates are already expired. There is nothing that will differentiate events based on one's interest and rating. As an event organizer, despite giving efforts, it's always a big question how to get an audience. Why can't there be a way where they just have to post and all their publicity work to be done? No effective and convenient medium available for organizers and students to connect directly. It's far better to jump in a pool of opportunities and choose one instead of jumping in a puddle with hardly any opportunity.
Solutions. Provide students with events they like. No more relying on luck. Find opportunities at a centralized place. Instead of providing the same filtered list of events to everyone, our platform understands users' interests and preferences and provides an individually customized feed of events to them. This is much like YouTube's suggestions. This increases the chance that the user will participate in the events, consequently benefiting the organizers as well. Following like-minded people to know which event they are interested in. They say great minds think alike. Our users can follow their friends and people who share similar goals and interests in event. They can instantly get to know which events their peers are following. The users which participate in an event will also be able to rate and provide reviews on the event. This way, next time when the event occurs, potential participants get a better idea of how the event actually is. Organizers can post their events at our platform and reach the laser-focused target audience expected for their event. Our platform is built with keeping simplicity in mind. Add the event details, add posters and videos, add relevant tags. Next, we call you to validate the authenticity of event and you are good to go. Post once, spread everywhere. Once the event is posted on Help All, It will automatically be posted on social media platforms such as LinkedIn, Instagram, Telegram, etc. We will be using automated chatbots that post your event on multiple platforms with a single click. Business model. We take a percentage commission on every transaction paid for events. We charge to increase the promotion of event on our platform. This feature enables organizers to promote their event further at a minimal price. We charge for automated promotion of events on all other social platforms under our brand. Technological expertise. Generate customized feed based on users' interest using a recommendation engine. Automated content promotion on social media platform using integrated chatbots. Our platform is built with easily scalable code base. We are using React Native for building the platform and its uh, MVP. This makes the adding and testing of new features notably clean and easy. Competitors, the college fever. They are more focused on organizer side and tier 1 engineering college, providing event management tools, etc. Townscript, they have a huge list of events, yet no attention to users' personal interests. Mera events, not
Team
much
Helper,
user friendly.
you have your 5 minutes are up. Could you please conclude your slide?
Yes, so why us? We are keeping students at our heart. Yes, continue please.
We keep a student continuity in our platform's heart. Only we understand our users' interest and provide events accordingly. Our UI is being built to build simplicity in mind. Go to market. As a starting user base is Maharashtra, we plan to bring different events on an app by contacting all the general secretaries of medical colleges of Maharashtra, who is responsible for organizing an intercollegiate event. And I am an active member of Sevankur, having close contact with its founder, who will help me to spread the app to all students. We will use the same social media platforms to bring events and spread app. Lastly, we believe a platform will bring opportunities for every medical student to flourish. Thank you.
Thank you, team helpers. It was very amazing. Could we have the judges now for the questions?
Thank you, Helpal. I myself organized a conference, so I am aware about how much promotion is needed. But to be honest, the word of mouth works better. And I personally feel your product or your website and application needs promotion first, so that you have a good viewer base who is following your social media, who has downloaded your app, who visits your website regularly. So, you need to work on that process where you first popularize your own application or website, and then you can approach these medical students body. Because if you approach me, I'll be first looking forward to how much student reach you have. So have you thought something about it?
Yes, sir. Actually, for to publicize an app, we all first wanted events existing in the app. So we will just, as a event organizer, you all want just to publicize them, whether it works or not. Because on WhatsApp groups, you are also providing just share and share means just providing share platforms. Means on an app, you can just put as a trial basis, and we guarantee after coming time that your event will be, as users will increase, as events will be listed on app, and we will use the same platform which is being used by you to publicize your conference. We will also use the same platform to publicize our app links.
Hello, am I audible? Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, you're audible. Yes, you're audible.
Yes, sir. In addition to Aayush's points, we are looking forward to tie-ups with every colleges and centralized university, that is MUHS, to select the events and put it in our platform, and also benefit from our platform by participating on that events. So that's how we are looking forward to take publicize our app first, and later the user base will come automatically.
Can I go next? Hello.
Yes, please, sir.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I understand. So might not be from a medical perspective, but I very well understand this problem of that reach issue. So I understand that you are trying to solve two problems at this point of time. One is reaching out to the students, and one is making sure that they are informed. But I'm not really clear how, I mean, how unique the selling point would be, because there are a lot of other platforms as well. So not just in terms of events, this thing, but also in terms of doctor network specifically. So how are you? So two questions. How are you going to increase usage? That is one, because I wasn't clear. I think Ayush asked the same question. I'm not clear how the usage will continue, because I think events can we need a long time frame, right? Because it's not just one event or two events. You need to keep them engaged for a long this thing. So how will you keep them engaged if they install? And second thing is, how will you get people to post on your platforms? People do want to post a lot of things, like Ayush also said, but how will you encourage that usage? Because I think those are interconnected questions actually. So yeah.
Sir, to answer your engagement question, we are providing the features to follow your fellow classmates or your friends, that which events they are attending, and what is going on in the market, so that you always engage with our platform. And first of all, other platforms do not provide any authentication for any events. And secondly, our platform ensure that every event should be rated by every attendees who have attended it, so that ensures that the quality and genuinity of the events. And for engagement part, you can follow your fellow classmates and chat with them, and look their activity, what they are doing and where they are participating.
And I want to add on, sir.
Okay.
Actually, all the college means all the medical colleges organize event every monthly. Means approximately if JJ in Maharashtra, if JJ is having an event, that event will be organized in February, assuming. And if KM is organizing event, KM will organize event in the next month, not clashing with the event. So means students will always get events listed with this, and they will be notified on the basis of their interest, whether they want to go or no, it doesn't matter. We will ask them to register on the basis of their interest, so that they will be notified as what they like and where they want to go.
All right. Thank you, team all. That's all of your time. So next we have Mamata app. Could you please share your screen?
I'm sorry, just a moment, the organizer.
Yes,
what was the sequence of this presentation? It was a fifth presentation.
Yes, sir. Fifth.
It was
This
a fifth.
yeah.
It was a fifth presentation. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Carry on, please.
So we have Mamata app next. Could you please share your screen?
Okay, I'm trying. Is it visible?
Not yet. Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay.
All right. So your time starts now. Good luck.
A very good afternoon to everyone present here. I'm Akash Neupane, representing my team of fourth year medical students from BPKHS Nepal, and presenting our concept of Mamata app. In Nepal, for every 100,000 births, 229 women die during or after childbirth. Similarly, child mortality rate is 32 per 1,000 and infant mortality rate is 27 per 1,000. And it is significantly high because women are marginalized by geography, wealth, and education, and that results in discrepancy in the healthcare they receive and the awareness and the education they have regarding the various issues of motherhood. And government has repeatedly been failed to meet the targets of maternal and child health. And therefore, while we were visiting our gynecology wards during our postings, we got to talk with the mothers, and we find out that they were unaware about even basic problems, and that could have been prevented and brought them great relief. So we thought of a concept to provide all the necessary information to a mother at all stages of motherhood in an easy, understandable manner, even in rural areas. And we thought of a smartphone application that would do that. So the product would have following features. It would be targeted for the mothers in healthcare resources settings, healthcare resources limited settings. It would be integrated across all platforms, and for a better reach, it would have many offline features. And the most important thing is all the information would be obtained from verified sources and fact-checked and cross-checked by pediatrician, obstetrician, and other experts. And the main motto we are trying to do is provide individualized information based on the stage of motherhood and the data the mother enters. For example, if the mother enters her age, height, weight, and past pregnancy history, past complications, then the recommendation can be based on that. For example, if the BMI is high, then the recommendation would be to reduce BMI to certain level. If she has a past history of postpartum hemorrhage, for example, bleeding during delivery, then the recommendation can be to arrange blood beforehand and provide relevant blood bank details nearby along with that. So, and the information that we provide would be in forms of FAQs, video tutorials, guidelines in local languages. That is the most important part. All of Nepali do not speak the official Nepali language. So we would provide that in local languages, and it would have text-to-speech features for those who cannot read or read, because the icons would be audio-visual, so they can recognize the icons, and the information would be audio-visual, and it would have text-to-speech features for a better accessibility. And since taking care of a child and a pregnant woman is a very cumbersome task, and it is very hectic, so often we forget the details. So we will provide reminders regarding immunization, medication, ANC visits through the app, so that the process goes on smoothly. And many danger signs in motherhood can be recognized by the patient themselves. So we provide a checklist for all the danger signs of neonates, infants, child, so that if any of the sign is checked in, then alert will be provided to visit the hospital nearby. And since COVID-19 has highlighted that many of our features can be available from comforts of home, and telemedicine is one of them. In Nepal is very prone to disasters like landslide, earthquakes, and reaching to hospital can be compromised at any time. So we can build a robust telemedicine service based on our app and provide necessary care. If the emergency need arises, we can elaborate upon that. And by collaborating with local hospitals, by collaborating with local blood banks, we can provide the necessary details of hospitals, referral centers containing neonatal ICUs, containing operation theater equipped with cesarean section, blood banks with blood groups, so that the hospital admission can be smooth. And since it is an application, it can be improved upon and updated regularly as the information medical information is rapidly changing, and it can also be changed upon the feedback of users. In our business model, it will be freely available to our target population, because we are targeting rural and economically marginalized people, and it will not be for profit and revenue generation. And yes, there will be cost for app development and website maintenance, but that would be we will sort our help from various organizations that are working to uplift maternal and child health in Nepal, such as Safe Motherhood Nepal, UNICEF Nepal, USAID Nepal, and so on. And even government has its own Safe Motherhood program, so that they are working on the same objectives as we are. So we are hopeful that our proposal would receive funding from them. And what we are trying to do is pull people away from the misleading and various information available on social medias and YouTubes that are not always reliable and have done more harm than good. What we're trying to do is provide them reliable, holistic information through an application that can be customized based on their own information provided. And this is our team. That's where the idea was born. And our team consists of Akash Neupane, myself, Nakul Regme, and Sushil Dakal. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, team. Can we have the judges, please?
Hi Akash, great idea, because I think sometimes there is that lack of awareness which is definitely there. But one important aspect I want to understand from you, have you researched upon the mobile usage, that is smartphone usage, how much it is there versus how much people are still not able to get that information? So let's say if there is 100 people who have a smartphone and 50 people still do not have the information. Have you looked up those statistics particularly? Because I mean, there might be other deeper issues also, is what I understand. So have you looked into those things, Akash?
Yes, thank you, sir. Yes, I have looked into the internet penetration in Nepal, as it is called. It is currently stands at 67% as of 2019, and internet usage is increasing exponentially day by day. And as we know, the future of world is information technology, and we feel that as the app goes in development, more and more people would use a smartphone. And regarding telecom in Nepal, almost 100% have any kind of mobile networks. So the offline features that we're talking about can be activated through SMS service. For example, basic facilities like blood bank availability, hospital availability can be checked through our SMS service, which can be available in any kind of phone. We are targeting that.
Hello, Akash. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Who's going to give you the guideline? That's very important, because you are telling that these are warning signs and certain things. Who's going to actually dictate the guideline? Which organization, authority?
So we can get the guidelines from official organizations like WHO. They have on their own department regarding this, and even from the government MOSP, Ministry of Health and Population, that they regularly publish guidelines, but that guidelines is not accessible. What we are trying to say, if we provide them in audio-visual format in local languages in easy to access manner, then we can provide them guidelines.
Yeah, because this is very important. People may be unnecessarily worried, or people may be relaxed if the guideline misguides them. So have to be very robust on the guidelines, and you need to speak to the authority. First of all, there's a question of legality, because if something goes wrong according to your guideline, people get hold of you. Like, how did you give it? So you have to be very sure what you are giving in this app, right? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Akash. It was a great presentation. Just one small question. Are you planning to incorporate the Anganwadi workers, or the PHC workers, especially the women, who might use this application to help the poor and those who don't have access to smartphone?
Yes, sir. Actually, we were thinking about that, because in Nepal they are called female community health workers, and since if a certain village has less coverage of let's say less coverage of smartphones, then we can provide one to the female community health workers, and if any need arises, she can make use of the features of a smartphone to get information regarding the particular mother or that, and we would provide certain app to the healthcare worker, female community health workers. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Akash. And one more question. So, you said that you'll make the information available through your app. So one particular question I would like to understand is that how will you measure the effectiveness of your solution? Do you have any parameters in mind? So there is a lot of stuff available on the net. If someone has a net connection, there's a lot of stuff available already. So versus that, the effectiveness of your solution, how do you plan to measure that? And because legal technical aspects is there, that's separate issue. How do you plan to measure the effectiveness of your solution?
Sir, we are planning to record all the information or feedbacks from the consenting mothers or the users of the app, and we will have a website to record how they were benefited. If any of the features were more beneficial to them, for example, if the information available in local languages was more beneficial, or if the information given in text to speech format was more beneficial to them, we will have a website recording that. We will take consent before they will submit their information, and by checking in the website, we can see the data, and we can see that yes, this feature is beneficial to them, or this feature is not beneficial to them, sir.
Okay, thank you, Akash.
Hello. Thanks,
we have time for one more question, or should we?
We have time for one.
Yeah. So, hi, Akash. Amazing need of the hour. I feel it is very, very required for pregnant women, especially these days in the modern era when women are very much stuck to Google screens about very much they want to know and very inquisitive about what's the entire 9-month journey going to be. My question is, how have you looked at any existing apps in the ecosystem? Like there are apps actually in Google Play Store, and which are helping mothers to know about every stage. When is their expected due time based upon their parameters. They have some checklist. And how better is your application from the existing applications?
Yes, I have looked into existing app, and the main thing that existing apps are doing is they are providing only focusing on only one aspect. They are either focusing on pregnancy, and they are providing information only in English languages. Most of them are, and in Nepal, most of the people will not be able to understand English languages. And we are trying to reach people who are not literate, in a sense that they cannot read language. By our text-to-speech function, the information will be read aloud in local language, so that would be more accessible to the people in Nepal.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, team Mamata. We have next the team Oxide. Could you please share your screen?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. So I'll start the time now. Good luck.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. We'll be presenting to you our product Oxyray via Team 7. Companies have started to reopen as COVID-19 has become the new normal. But employees are under the constant fear of contracting the virus from their co-workers and transmitting it to their family members, which may include children and elderly. Companies have taken measures like one-time temperature screening at the entrance, but that comes with the following drawbacks. According to the guidelines, temperature should be taken at least twice daily to increase its accuracy. And also, morning temperatures are apparently cooler than the afternoon temperatures. And use of antipyretics by employees can actually disguise a potential COVID-related fever. So because of all these drawbacks, mildly symptomatic cases may be missed. Also, while using our conventional hand sanitizer bottles, we tend to contaminate our hands after sanitation while keeping them back in our pockets and purses. Therefore, we made this product Oxyray, which features constant temperature changes and SpO2 measurement, and that can be monitored using our mobile application. And all this data can be seen by the employer. And in case of symptomatic cases, appropriate steps can be taken. Also, it comes with a handy sanitizer mist spray apparatus for frequent use. Our primary stakeholders are the corporate sectors, population under home quarantine, so that the caregivers, the visits to the patient's room are reduced. And also in the post-COVID world, patients who require constant monitoring of SpO2 can use Oxyray.
To address these problems, we have come up with Oxyray, which is an amalgamation of one hardware and a software component. The hardware component consists of a watch and a sanitizer mist spray apparatus fitted together in a wristband. The watch on its inferior surface has an infrared and a visible red LED and a detector for SpO2 sensor, and it also has an infrared detector for body temperature sensor, a microcontroller with an inbuilt Wi-Fi module, and also the sanitizer mist spray apparatus. Next, now coming on to the working of the SpO2 measurement, it uses the reflective method of pulse oximetry, that is receiving the transmitted infrared and visible red waves reflected back from a peripheral artery. It is based on principle that oxygenated hemoglobin absorbs more infrared light, that is at 940 nanometers, and allows more red light to pass through. And deoxygenated blood absorbs more red light, that is at 650 nanometers. It detects only arterial SpO2 because artery pulsates. The volume of arterial blood in tissue and therefore the light absorption by the hemoglobin changes during each pulse. This can be explained by Beer-Lambert law, which states that abundance depends on the path length traveled by the light. Second part is the temperature sensor. Next, this sensor uses a thermopile sensor to detect the infrared waves emitted by the warm body of the human. The detector is placed directly over the radial artery region in the wristband. This is for better accuracy and precision. Next, the data collected from both the sensors is processed by a microcontroller, which sends it to a cloud database and then to a mobile application. Now, PU will explain the mobile application.
To understand the interface of our app Oxyray, we have two modes available. One is for organization mode and one is for personal use. We log in. As you can see that there are various channels, channel 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. These can be your departments in the company. And there are two tabs. One is a blue color tab and the other one is red colored. So if the employee's vitals, that is temperature and SpO2 are normal, it will be shown as blue as seen here. And all the continuous monitoring is seen in the form of a graph. But as soon as the temperature rises above the normal and SpO2 drops, the employer will get an alert and a notification system, and necessary steps can be taken by him. Logging out.
Any product without a proper business model is a failure. We'll raise funding initially in phase 1 through bootstrapping and pitching events and build a prototype, and then get the device validated in the incubation centers and further raise investment through government grants and corporate sectors. We are currently in phase 1, looking forward for collaboration with existing firms. Our working personnel would be both skilled and unskilled people. When the question comes to the scalability, we'll start off initially with low-scale production, take the product to companies and customers, and based on the feedback, we'll start mass production that would effectively cut down the price of a product, making it easily accessible. And the business secret, our marketing strategy will take the product into the masses using the Made in India tagline and popularize our product. If we start from scratch, the product would be developed in around 4 to 6 months, and when collaborated with the existing models, the device would be developed in a month or two. Next. And coming to the competition, there are a few bands in the market which measure the temperature and SpO2, but are operated on an individual basis. Whereas our app, apart from being a sanitizer on the go model, can be used on a community basis, and the employer can access and monitor his employees' data through our app, and thus making it an effective screening device. Next.
Guys, your time is up. Could you please conclude?
And this is our team, Pihu Arora, Pragyan, Vamshi, Abhishek, and myself, Dinesh Paidi. Next. This is our contact, and you can contact us. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. This was really interesting. Can the judges please move forward with the question?
Hi, team. Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, very good idea. I think because nowadays the relevance has quadrupled because of the scenarios around us. But so my question here is, I have two questions. So what is the USP that you're trying to look at? One, and two being that, so except for the part where, the missed spray part, most of the other aspects are covered in a Fitbit or in a Apple Watch or many other gadgets, many other options are there. So how do you plan to, sell the USP which you have? So what is the USP and how do you plan to sell it across? So because there are already ecosystems around, app ecosystems, device ecosystems around. So how do you plan to take it ahead, basically?
Okay. First question, actually, I didn't get what is USP, and to address the second question.
What is your unique selling point, to be particular? I'm sorry.
So that will be covered by Dinesh. First question.
Okay.
A unique selling point would be like this app. That would be a USP because, as you rightly quoted, there are a few smart benefits at the Apple Watch, and Samsung is coming up with a new watch. But
your voice isn't audible, Dinesh. I'm sorry. Hello. Your voice is getting muffled a lot.
Am I audible now?
Yes. Now it is okay.
Come closer to the mic.
The USP of our app, of our product would be the app, because though there are a few existing bands in the market, they just measure the individual SpO2 and the temperature, whereas our model which we proposed, it was basically targeting the corporate sectors where the employer could see the vitals of his employees. Like there's a case scenario where there's a factory, and one of the worker, he got infected with COVID, but he just took a paracetamol, and the temperature of the person has subsided. But when the effect of the paracetamol wears off around in 5 to 6 hours, the temperature would obviously rise again. And during this period, the person who was infected, he might contact many other people, and within a few days, the whole setup of the whole factory would get shut down. So this is where our app would be very useful, because it would see constant monitoring of the temperature and oxygen. So this is where the USP is. And what was the second question? Sorry.
Yeah. So the second question was, how do you plan to sell it across? Because if this is the USP, how do you plan to convince the corporates or the people who are involved?
Yeah, I will answer that. Okay. So our main primary the stakeholders, our main target population is the. Am I audible? Yeah, is the target is the corporate sectors. So we are planning to make a prototype first and then encroach those corporate sectors because they're very. We have already we already reached a company named Apara Industries. They were very keen for that. They were very interested in this project because they were afraid that if one person develops, then the whole factory might be shut down by the law enforcers. So they wanted to know how it works and all, and they were very interested in that. So our selling strategy will be to encroach this corporate sectors and show them that how beneficial it will be for them, for their working environment, and for the starting of the project, we want to encroach the target this corporate sectors. So later on, when we start with some commercial production, then the general population can also use it in a personal mode. So yes, and also our selling thing will be cheaper because unlike other watches, Fitbit and all, they are having they are using Bluetooth connectivity for phone calls, music, infotainment systems. We're not making a smartwatch. We're making a healthcare screening device. So that will make the cost a lot cheaper.
Okay. And just one. Okay, go ahead, Aayush. Go ahead, sir.
I just had a point to tell. We've already approached existing firms, and they were really interested in our idea, and they're actually looking forward for it. That's what I just wanted to add.
I'll just interrupt with 3 questions. You might not answer them right now because I'm sure the time is up. You can answer that in the chat. There are 3 questions. Number, how are you going to refill the sanitizer thing which you're putting on the back of the watch? Number 2, the radial artery anatomy differs from person to person. Not really, not in that sense. In that sense, you have some people might have a thicker hand, some might have a thinner hand. So that way it varies. And number 3rd is not all COVID patients develop temperature, right? So there are many patients who are either symptomatic or just develop symptoms like anosmia. So how are you going to tackle that? So these 3 questions, if you could answer them on the chat box, that would be great. When we can move on to the next.
Thank you, sir. We have the last team today, Team Cove-Aid. Can we have your screen, please?
All right, yeah, just give me a sec. Hi, can everyone see the title slide?
Yes, we can.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. So your time starts now. Good luck.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abhishay from Delhi, India, and this is Arshdeep, my teammate from Dallas, America. Today, we're here to present our idea for Cove-Aid, an AI application to collect patient data and aid the medical community through artificial intelligence algorithms. Mankind is facing a situation graver than ever seen, the COVID-19 pandemic. According to ICMR, for diagnosis, RT-PCR is the gold standard test and the standard Q COVID antigen test. But these platforms require specialized lab facilities and lengthy waiting time. Keeping in mind the rising rate of mortality and morbidity, early diagnosis of COVID is of critical importance, and thereafter earlier treatment improves outcomes as well as alleviating burden on the healthcare system. With this project proposal, we intend on tackling this very problem, coming up with a feasible and effective solution. Now here on the slide, we look at an unenhanced chest CT scan of a COVID-infected patient. You can see on the left bilateral areas of ground glass opacities with crazy paving, more evident at the lung basis. Now let me explain how the severity score works. We know that the right lung is divided into 3 lobes and left into 2, each lobe given a score of 1 to 5 based on the lung involvement, giving us a total score of 25 for all 5 lobes. On the right-hand side of the slide, you can see the criteria. If lobe involvement is 5%, then the score assigned is 1, and so on. Higher the score, more severity of infection and prognosis would naturally then depend on it. Coming to core ads, the COVID-19 reporting and data system, it provides a level of suspicion for pulmonary involvement of COVID based on the obligate features on an unenhanced CT. The level of suspicion similarly increases from very low in category 1 to very high in category 5. So now that we know the problem in depth, let's look at how we want to solve it. Our goal is to design an AI model that can identify COVID based on initial chest CT scans, that is CORADs, and clinical history, thus implementing a very rapid diagnostic tool to flag patients with suspected infection. The radiologist can then review these suspected cases identified by the AI with a higher priority. A comprehensive set of fields will enable us to gather fresh data and observe new patterns. We as a team have developed a prototype for sophisticated data collection using a clean interface and secure database setup.
So the technology stack used in this project is one that mirrors our goals. Hence, I chose the Flask framework written in Python to make this website a reality. The database that I'm using here is the SQLite database, which is efficient and secure. The website can already be opened on phones, tablets, laptops, and it's responsive. I intend to use my experience in the field of machine learning and deep learning libraries like Keras, TensorFlow, and Scikit-learn to create these algorithms. Now, if you look at the AI process here, we are particularly looking at three approaches on the left: convolutional neural networks, decision trees, and the k nearest neighbors to facilitate our predictive analysis. On the right here, you can see the 4 steps that give us an end-to-end high-level view of the steps taken in an AI process. So if we go a little deeper into this, on the left, we have a diagram for the k nearest neighbor algorithm. The basic idea is that we assign the label of the new sample by comparing it to the k number of closest neighbors. On the right, CNNs are neural networks that essentially use convolution in place of a general matrix multiplication. The convolutional layer consists of 2 operations, convolution and activation, which basically means that the algorithm goes over the image using a filter repeatedly, and then the algorithm uses the activation function to find the part of the image that is important. Like in this case, as Abhi said, it would be the ground glass opacity region. So now, how feasible is the solution? Well before the pandemic, enthusiasm around machine learning-based technology in medical imaging had notably increased. So while building this data collection form, it was clear that without ample clinical data and lab data, it would not be possible to assess the infection effectively. And for that very reason, we have tried to include as many points for clinical history. For example, the duration and severity of symptoms like fever, breathlessness, coughing. So as we mentioned before, our main selling point is that we will improve radiology workflows, which will be an extremely helpful thing in times like these. ML algorithms are often modular, so they can be reused for different pulmonary diseases in the future. There will be a balance of risk and efficiency, and the key to optimizing this balance is to define the needs for which solutions will have the greatest clinical value. So this is an animation showing what a minimalistic...
I'm sorry, your time is up. Could you please conclude the final?
Yeah, so this is an animation showing what a minimalistic yet comprehensive form looks like. We ask for a range of symptoms along with complete medical history, but are completely anonymous, unlike platforms like Google Forms and Qualtrics. So yeah, that's the idea. I am a computer science student at University of Texas at Dallas, and I really want to do something using my technical skills in this pandemic. And Abhyuday is a medical student from India, and he is a humanitarian at heart, and that's why we put our brains together to make this wonderful prototype. And we hope that this can go forward and can actually help the medical community. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Can I have the judges, please, for any questions?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I mean, very interesting idea, because I think this is very relevant in terms of today's scenario. So my concern primarily, with respect to the target audience, which is it India or USA you're targeting through this application?
So yeah, I'll take that. So the idea is that, of course, we can focus on both places, because data can come from either places. Actually, can be come from anywhere in the world. So that's not a problem at all. Our major issue here, or thing that we're trying to really help us is with the collection of data, because if there's a dearth of data, we cannot use these algorithms. So if it doesn't really matter where the data comes from, as long as it's coming from reliable sources.
So because so I understand that point, because I mean, I am also aware about ML, but see, so my concern is specifically that, so I think in terms of India, I'm not aware of the real story behind, but in terms of India, I think the interoperability, so CT machines, so there is no streamlining of data is what I understand. So there is either the versions of the machines are an issue, the software transmissions, the DICOM, the formats are not uniform across, because I think data recording also doesn't happen that frequently actually. So how do you address interoperability? That is because like machines being an issue, and the software aspects, the DICOM formatting and all those issues. Because I think CT if it is CT, then I think that is a concern, right? Because the DICOM format and so there are formats available, but the uniformity of it is not there, is what I understand from current scenarios. So how do we address that issue?
So like you mentioned, DICOM format, we were in touch with a couple of radiologists who gave us, so we saw the CT scans on our own devices to be able to understand as to how we can upload it and upload it further for uploading to the algorithm. So on that understanding, it's not that non-uniform as well. The DICOM format is very easily able to capture by our algorithm, and the form that we have over here is a little basic in terms of uploading right now, because we just have we have a couple of options to upload lab results, probably X-rays also if required, and pictures of CT scan that we can probably upload directly from the hospital setting. So the uniformity, it's directly from the root source of the hospital, so right from the radiology department that we would be dealing with.
Hi, Government.
Okay. Okay.
The question was, how are you going to maybe, how are you going to answer the question that will this replace a clinical radiologist, number one? And how are you going to link your data from with the CT scan reports? Is there some link up which you are going to do? And how will you calibrate? How will you be calibrating your interpretations from the from the algorithm you are using?
So our model comprises of three parts. First, the model analyzes basic clinical data. Second would be analyzing images, which is basically CT scans. And third model would combine both of them together. Like my teammate mentioned, the K-nearest algorithm. On that basis, that's for the clinical data, assessing two symptoms probably. And on the other hand, we had the convolutional network. So that assesses the images of the images that we get from the CT scan. And what was the first part of your question? If I can ask.
Are you muted?
How are you going to calibrate this? Like, how are when you're thinking of a clinical radiologist who's seeing the CT and correlating it with the CORADs, how is your interpretation of the CORADs from your algorithm being calibrated with the medical?
So we have the computer works. The machine would be working in a binary format. We'll have like the CT scan is in a grayscale format. So a hyperdense or a hypodense situation of sorts. So the computer identifies that hyperdense/hypodense situation, and then after it learns about it, it can then interpret as and when the new sample is given. I think Ashdeep would be able to explain it better if he wants to have something to add.
Okay, so in terms of technicalities here, if we look at the diagram over here, for example, this is a negative image of the CT scan. As I said before, in the convolutional neural network, we will using an activation function which will specifically try to pick up the ground glass opacity regions, which is the one that we're actually looking for. So of course, no algorithm is 100%, but it will give an almost accurate answer as to which eventually aid the radiologist.
And as far as the replacement of a clinical radiologist is concerned, there is no way that a doctor can be replaced. No machine can replace them. But over here also, the doctor would be required as and when the prediction is made. The radiologist is required to deal with it at a higher priority. And as well, at any point, if we see some, let's say, anatomical variation in the CT scan that the machine is not able to gauge due to insufficient data, for example, that at that point, the radiologist is definitely required to get in and explain or diagnose.
Right. Just because you have science more than just ground glass like crazy paving or vascular dilatation, or the traction bronchiectasis, which is overall a good presentation. Mithali, I hand it over.
Yeah. Thank you for the presentation, Cove-Aid team. So we're done with all the presentations. So I would like to thank all the judges and the speakers for their valuable time, and the organizing committee for organizing this very well, and thank the participants for the amazing ideas. And I'm sure the judges will have a very hard time choosing the top 3 ones. And can we have a group picture before we end the session? If everyone can please switch on their mics, the videos.
Tarun, are you taking the picture?
Yeah, I will take, sir.
I have taken the picture, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And guys, because of the time crunch, we can't give the results out today. So you'll have these results out by tomorrow night. That is 10